take questions from Mark.
Mark, you've talked for a long time about your commitment to PJ. Why make an extension at this point for him?
He talked about the culture sustainability. And I go back to the first time we met in Chicago when we interviewed him for this job, and we talked about the importance of having that sustainability and setting a path forward for this program. And, Andy, I can't tell you how grateful I am to President Gable, our board leadership, our board. Obviously, this is pending board approval, but the support we get from President Gable has been phenomenal. She talks about the athletic program being the front porch to the institution, and she understands the value of football and what it brings to our institution. And when you have somebody like Coach Fleck leading your program, you're in a good spot. So we're really excited about the contract extension.
How important was it to get the buyout back up to $10 million, and then subsequently in the years following, it's much higher in year 2 than it currently was?
Yeah, that's helpful, and PJ's being genuine when he talks about he wants to be here. I mean, he and I have conversations almost daily, and a lot of times they have nothing to do with football. They're about life, our families, et cetera, and we talk about how this is home. And obviously, we have a coach that people are going to pay attention to on the national landscape, and his name comes up a lot. And so we feel like from an institutional perspective, having that high buyout obviously provides us with protection. I'm grateful for PJ and signing this agreement. Again, it gives us sustainability that we need here in Minnesota.
Mark, was this deal any harder to do just given the financial challenges of the last year that you went through as a department?
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, obviously, all of college athletics, going through the pandemic, still dealing with the pandemic, and trying to be as resourceful as you can with our resources. But I can tell you, we're just grateful. You see the fan support that we have at our games, our student section. I think we've had an increase of student ticket sales by about 164%. We had over 4,000 new season tickets, so there's a lot of excitement around our program. Obviously, the wins are a big part of that. What they do off the field is a big part of that. So, again, we feel like this is a very smart investment for our program, and just, again, grateful that he will continue to lead our program.
When you look at the bump to the assistant coaches pool, how do you feel like Minnesota ranks compared to the other teams here in the Big Ten?
Yeah, well, that bump, it's a $350,000 bump that will go out to his assistant coaches or whatever, and I believe that puts us towards the middle of the pack in the Big Ten. I can tell you, whenever PJ and I have conversations, the very first thing he talks about after the student athletes is his staff. He has a talented group of coaches around him, support staff around him. It's a joy to travel with them and be around them day in and day out, and he always wants to make sure that he takes care of that staff. And as he mentioned in his remarks, we've increased that pool every year here, and that's our goal, to continue to build that staff and, again, build that continuity and that stability that we need here in Minnesota.
When did you first approach PJ about getting an extension?
We have conversations over the summer, and obviously, I know his agents well, Brian and Bynum, and, we had conversations over the summer, and then probably in the last few weeks, those conversations picked up. And, it was important for me to send a message to our fan base, to send a message to our recruits, to our current student athletes, that we are committed to football, we're committed to winning at a high level, and we're committed to doing the right things academically, athletically, and socially. And again, he's demonstrated that, his team has demonstrated that, so we felt it was important to get this done. And again, I cannot thank President Gable enough. She is such a strong advocate for our program, our student athletes, our coaches, and these things happen because we have great alignment with our president, with our board, and our board leadership.
Mark, how would you describe the relationship that you and PJ have had over the last couple of years to continue this relationship?
Andy, I go back, and if he was here, I imagine he would laugh and chuckle at this. I go back to when we interviewed him in Chicago, and we came home, and it's probably 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm talking to him and Heather. I'm in the kitchen at our house in St. Paul with my wife, Kristen, and he's at home with Heather back in Michigan, and I'm telling him to trust me. Like, come to Minnesota, we can do this. And obviously he had a good situation at Western Michigan. They had great success. They had just gone to the Cotton Bowl. And I said, just trust me. And I remember Heather saying, we don't even know you. And we kind of both laughed about that. But over the years, we developed a really good relationship. And I can tell you, I've been blessed to work with really cool people. I've been, in this almost 30 years, I've been around some top coaches, top people, and PJ's right up there. And again, he and I have a very close relationship. And, I laugh. A few weeks ago, he made a comment about the Maryland game when I walked in, his office before the game, and we were talking for a few minutes. And, I talked about, hey, we should probably run the ball today, huh? And I've never called a play in my life. But you all would be disappointed. I bet 95% of our conversation before the game that day was what our kids were doing for trick-or-treating. So again, we talk about everything, not just football and this place.
Mark, what else is left for the university to do to make this a national program? I mean, you got facilities, you got your coach locked up, you're paying your assistants. Is there anything on the wish list yet?
Well, you got to continue to compete at a high level. If you go back to the day I was hired, I talked about the importance of, I don't want the University of Minnesota to be a transitional school. I don't want coaches to come here and leave a year later and go do something else. We want Minnesota to be a destination. And I think if you look at what we're doing with PJ right now, if you look at what we've done with our other head coaches, we've hired head coaches. These are their dream jobs. And I think if you surround yourself with people where it's their dream, they will give you everything they have to help us compete at a high level, again, academically, athletically, and socially. So, again, I think this sends a strong message that we want Minnesota to be a destination spot. And there's no reason why we can't do it here. There is absolutely no reason why we can't compete at a high level, and it's on us to continue to make that progress and growth.
Take one or two more for Mark. If there aren't any, that's fine too. We can bring in Joe Rossi, our defensive coordinator, talk about Illinois. Everyone all set with Mark? All right.
Thank you.
Mark.
Thanks, Paul.